Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for attending this momentous occasion. I know you've all been eager to throw your pigeons, sparrows, blue jays, and whatever flying animals you cooked up in your private labs at my giant angry bird that placed 9th in the honorable mentions of Goji Center's hybrid war. But now, the wait is over. Today, on July 1st, 2025, Canada Day, the Sky Hybrid Wars have officially begun! Release the pterosaurs, unleash the bats, send forth the insects, load those birds onto the slingshot, and shuck them at the piggies! The sky shall be full of flyers of all shapes and sizes and colors, each and every one of them designed to take down Maggie and Valt. Okay, cut the music. Cut the music! The speech is over. Time to talk about the event I put too much thought into, because I have this urge to put lore into everything I create. So, first on the agenda, at the end of Valt's video, I asked people to give feedback on my birds to see if they can spot any weaknesses that could lead to their self-destruction. After going over the suggestions with Toxic P, whose knowledge on flight is next level, I've made some final adjustments to Valt and Maggie's genome. Let's start with Maggie, as her changes are quite subtle. The honey badger has been removed. It left as soon as it arrived. It turns out Maggie and Maddie are more durable than I gave them credit for, due to their thick foliage of feathers, and the badger skin underneath would have complicated things. The venom resistance was also a problem, since honey badgers need to sleep off the venom. Having Maggie pass out mid-flight means her nap would be permanent. Therefore, no honey badger. We're also removing the barn owl, as its only contribution was hearing, which doesn't add much considering Maggie will be speeding around at high speeds, and her partner is particularly noisy. I'm sorry, barn owl, go play some baseball, you'll feel better. Her thermal vision is also gone, as this isn't useful for long range, meaning normal vision is more useful. So, now that we have 2 empty genome slots, we can fill them in with Golden Eagle for better eyes, and Opossum for venom immunity. And this time it won't pass out mid-flight. Right, on to Valt, who's had a few more revisions in comparison. The Patui is gone. The poison aspect wasn't all that helpful. Instead, his body will be covered in rainbow trout scales. Not the strongest armor in the world, even with the vampire bat's iron distribution. But having some armor is better than having none. But not near the wings, as we don't want to interfere with flight too much. Thermal vision, again, has been removed in favor of regular vision, which is more suited to large flyers who need to see long distance. The lyrebird is contributing a bit more now, giving Valt a lower profile for better flight. Then there's statistics, which have been completely overhauled by Toxic P. He's faster, his wings are larger, and we now have stats for the bite force, grip strength, and hammer strength. Thanks again, Toxic P. I'll be sure to cover Erzkrehe in the next episode of the Sky Hybrid Wars. And thank you to everyone else who left suggestions. I didn't include all of them, but I do appreciate your feedback nonetheless. But from this point on, there will be no more modifications to Valt and Maggie. Their stats have been locked in. Now that you've been reacquainted with the stars of the show, allow me to introduce the scientists behind the creation of your favorite burb. Meet the Balt Family of Balt's Family Labs. These 3 are some of the many random characters I made about a decade ago, and with science slowly taking over the channel, now seemed like a good time to give them a proper role on the channel. With that being said, here's a word from the head scientist, Professor Lightning Bolt. Indeed I have. Pay attention because I'll probably ignore your hybrid if it doesn't follow these guidelines. Rule number 1. Any real creatures from the animal kingdom are valid components. Whether it's a living animal like a dove or a beaver, or an extinct animal like Anhangura. You are not allowed to use the DNA of Night Furies, Alpha Wyverns, Rodan, Rathalos, or any other fictional flyer. And because the Dominion Quets can eat planes for breakfast, creatures from the Jurassic franchise are also not allowed. Rule number 2. The final result needs to fly. So that does kinda narrow down your options to pterosaurs, birds, insects, and bats. But if you can somehow get one of the gliding creatures, like a flying squirrel, to work, then I'll accept that too. Rule number 3, get creative with your hybrids. Don't pull an Avis and copy Maddie, Valt, or Valkyriopteryx's recipe. Go wild, have fun, experiment. You wanna challenge me with a chicken? Make the chicken work! Rule number 4, be respectful. No, wait, that rule actually applies to real life. Just don't be that guy who puts others down because their hybrid isn't as good as yours. Yeah, just don't do what they're doing. Rule number 5, and this is the most exciting one, flocks and swarms are allowed! Now hold your horses. I'm not gonna allow you to send an army of Hatzegopteryxes at me. You can send up to 5 hybrids after me, but this number will get smaller the bigger your animal is. If you're bringing in creatures that are exactly the same size as Valt and Maggie, then send in 2 creatures. If you're sending in one of the biggest Asdarchids, you're only allowed 1. And if it wasn't obvious with the fact that Maggie's a bird and Valt is a pterosaur, mix packing is also allowed. Whether it's a big bird and 2 small bats, or a pterosaur accompanied by 4 insects, or a flying squirrel riding a Quetzalcoatlus. And you can get extra creative with this. You can make a bird with built-in bug spray to ensure insect teammates don't attack it. One more thing I want to add, this is an idea inspired by someone on Discord, but you can actually team up with other people. So one of you can design the Quetzal, and the other person can design the flying squirrel. I will also say that when it comes to judging the hybrid, I will not be as strict as Goji Center or Goji Guy. Obviously, I'm not gonna let people get away with misusing the hummingbird, axolotls, electric eels. But don't expect me to ground your hybrid just because I thought it was too heavy.
You're too fat, you need exercise.
I recommend rewatching the Avis video to really get a feel of how I'll judge your hybrid, as I was actually pretty forgiving towards Avis until I got to the hummingbird. And now that you know all the rules of the competition, Thunderbolt shall explain what happens to those lucky people who managed to pull a win.
His own people shot him.
Thank you, Thunderbolt. Don't ever call me dog food again. Now to talk about hybrid submission. Unlike Fixes, where you have to be in my Discord server to actually participate, this time you can really ping me from anywhere. On the Discord server, there will be a brand new Hybrid War Stuff channel. There, you can post your submissions to challenge Valt and Maggie, or even just any hybrid you want to talk about. Granted, I probably should have made one of these a long time ago, but better late than never. As for YouTube, you can @ me, but I highly recommend you make a video over a post. That way I can add it to the official Zainreborn Hybrid War playlist. But however you're submitting your hybrid, just make sure it's along the lines of something similar to the cards I made for my hybrids, featuring what your hybrid looks like from a side profile shot, a list of all the ingredients that make up the hybrid and how they contribute to it, throw up a full-grown human for scale. If you really want to be consistent with me, then use this art of the Wildcrats. And of course, you need to include statistics: height, length, weight, wingspan, running speed, flying speed, etc. And for those working in teams, give yourself a team name. Mine shall be known as Team... And if you had help with the hybrid, like for the artwork or for certain ingredients, then be sure to give proper credits. I want to make sure I'm giving everyone the recognition they deserve, no matter how small their contribution was. Speaking of recognition, I want to talk about Kylo Enjoyer's hybrid, Hannibal the Sky Reaper. The reason I bring him up is because he shares a lot of similarities with Valt. Now, this is not a case of Rule 3 where he pulled an Avis and copied Valt, because Hannibal actually predates Valt. What we're looking at here is a kamikaze pike situation, where two creators build the same creature despite not knowing of each other's existence. Convergent evolution, if you will. But I still felt bad for indirectly copying Hannibal, so I felt it was only fair to give him the highest rarity and slap him onto the fridge. Kylo Enjoyer is working on another pterosaur hybrid, so we'll just have to wait and see if they can join Hannibal on the fridge. Right, that's everything. You now have permission to get to work. If you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. Hope you enjoyed my little presentation with all these new characters, and I'll see you when the first contender appears. I was planning on adding an extra segment where Creature Archives Apollyon would be the opening act, fighting against the original Maddie. But I had to cut it to get this video out on time. But Creature Archives did tease that he had something in mind, so we'll have to see if that actually goes anywhere or not. As mentioned earlier, a certain tall-legged magpie will be covered soon, but I'll most likely cover multiple teams per episode, which means more work for me. To be fair, I'm excited to see all the crazy hybrids you people cook up. The Discord server has been buzzing with activity, and I've seen a lot of wild ideas. Seriously though, flying squirrel riding a quet. Someone make it happen. Okay, that's all for me now, bye!
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video from beginning to end. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel, and join the Zainreborn community. See you in the next one. Bye-bye! Bye! Bye!